Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, coming to you with a deck profile. This is my Metalfoes Goukis, actually. I will show you that card just so you can kind of see what it is. So, I originally write up the Gouki archetype, and I was like, I really like this. I think this archetype is really cool. I was like, what's the best way to combine with it? Excuse me. And then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, the best engine to play with that deck is Metalfoes. Now, Metalfoes got hurt quite a bit by the new link rules. Sorry, guys. And that's because of course, the fact you can only special summon one monster from the extra deck unless you have a link monster that allows you to special summon more. So that really hurts, especially because the Metalfoes deck originally would just like pop a Metalfoes scale, set a card, and then you could special back that Metalfoes. So I was like, how am I going to fix that? And this deck has been testing so well. It is so consistent. I've been just having a lot of fun with it. It's just really, really good. You open up some pretty good boards. It's got a lot of combos. And overall, I think that if you're going to play Goukis and you're going to play, or you want to play Metalfoes, this is the best way to play both decks. I think that pure Metalfoes aren't as good anymore. And I think that the Gouki engine just complements the Metalfoes so well, and they honestly have one of the best spell cards from the last set. So without further ado, let's get on with the deck profile. So I'm playing triple Bismugear. I think you have to play 3 of this card, just for the fact that it is like the one Metalfoes that does add, does add at the end phase a Metalfoes monster to your hand. He's also the best 8 scale. Yes, you can't pendulum him, but I feel like now, because we can't pendulum a lot of monsters from the extra deck, playing, like, maxing out on all of vanillas is not the right way to go. Like, you don't want to open a handful of Metalfoes, because, like, you can't really do a lot with it now, and you're gonna blow your hand a lot quicker, and just ending your board with, like, a Mithrilium is just not that powerful, or leaving yourself in a situation where you can just summon out Alcahest isn't that great either, so this guy is super important. The fact that you can special him off counter and he can search himself at the end phase is really good too. So it just kind of keeps pluses going. And you can add him back from your extra deck with banishing counter. So I think that's really, really good. So yeah, you definitely have to play 3 of him, I think. Next one I'm playing 3 of is Triple Gold Driver. He's the best 1 scale. He's probably the best vanilla in the deck, I would say as well, just because of his attack, and he has the lowest defense, which does play a part. He's just really good. Like, Gold Driver, I think, is a 3 of. I wouldn't ever play less of him. He's also a painful decision target, which is also relevant. I'm just playing 2 Volflame. Excuse me. Now that we don't have a way to summon out a bunch of, like, Volflames that have been popped, and I'm not playing Summoner's Art in this deck, I feel like he's probably the second worst Metalfoes. Excuse me, guys, sorry. I just feel like he's not as relevant as he once was, and he's just like, you can't normal him, and I don't know. I just feel like 2's the right number. He's basically just there because he's another 8 scale. So yeah, he's good. He's a good card. You could probably even play 1 if you wanted to, and then play, like, I'm playing 2 Steelins, which I'll get to in a minute here. And if you wanted to, you could definitely just drop Volflame down to 1, and then just play 3 copies of Steelin. Like, Steelin's probably a better card. I have been thinking about doing that. I just like Volflame because at least he's, like, you know, in some situations he's still like a 2400 beater, which is kind of good. But yeah, I mean, in this format right now, and in the game in general, that doesn't really do a whole lot. Triple Silvered, he's probably the second best Metalfoes. He's also the other 1 scale. Max out on those because I am playing 7 8 scales. So yeah, you gotta play those. And then last 2 Metalfoes I'm playing is 2 Steelin. Now, you could, like I said, bump this up to 3 and drop Volflame down to 1. I have been thinking about doing that just for the fact, like, this, like, if you have Painful Decision in your hand and 1 Steelin and you need to search out another high scale or something, you can't, so that kind of sucks. But I mean, in situations like that, you're probably just going to be searching the low scale anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. He has the worst stats, but I mean, you know, it's whatever. Like, he's still good defense, and if you draw poorly, you can at least set him. So I mean, that's kind of, you know, relevant. So that's it for the Metalfoes, guys. Just, you know, not a very big count. Not playing 15 like I used to, just 13. For other pendulum monsters, I'm playing 2 Archfiend-centric. I think 3 is too many now because of the link mechanics. This deck doesn't really have too hard of a time playing around back rows because the Gouki cards get their effects no matter what. So if you summon a bunch of Goukis from your hand and they strike it, you're just getting all their effects anyways. Like, you don't really care. So, like, yeah, this is still here. You can still use it to pop your combination, search out your missing piece. But like I said, the fact that you can't pendulum back a bunch of cards anymore, unless you have a link monster up, kind of wrecks the effectiveness of this card. So I think 2 is just like the right number. I don't like, some people are always like, oh, you want to play this at 3 because you want to open it, but like, I don't want to open this card all the time. If I see it, like, that's great, but generally, like I said, you can play around back rows pretty easily. And then of course Luster Pendulum, because he's like, you're playing a pendulum deck, this guy's staple. And honestly, the fact that like, it's pretty easy to make Luster in this deck, and Luster is really powerful in here. I mean, he's powerful in any pendulum deck, but yeah, he's super good. I think you have to play him. So onto the Gouki cards. I'm playing 1, 2, 3 Twist Cobra. Now, I think this is the best Gouki. What's so good about this guy is like, he has a quick effect, so you can use that during the other player's turn. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure you can. Somebody can correct me on that. You can tribute 1 Gouki monster, then target 1 Gouki monster you control. It gains attack equal to the original attack of the tributed monster until the end of this turn, and then he has the search effect, just like every other Gouki. So what's so good about this guy is that, other than the fact he's 3, so he has a little bit of consistency with the deck into making like Invoker and stuff. The reason I decided to play this deck as well was like, the Metalfoes deck itself doesn't really have, other than playing, what's he called? Gofu, which I don't play in here. I don't like Gofu. And some people are gonna be like, you're crazy, you're playing a pendulum deck, you're not playing Gofu. I just don't like taking up a bunch of extra deck slots for one monster. And I mean, past the first Gofu, the other ones are dead. So I just don't like the idea of that. Yeah, you can pop the tokens. That's super great. Like, it's, you know, it's amazing in this deck. It is. I'm not going to lie. But I want to use my popping effects on the Goukis to get my combos going. I don't want to be using it on random tokens just to set some cards and then make a decode talker and then not have any like monsters to summon. Like, what's so good about this deck is you never lose hand advantage, and you're always pendulum summoning like Goukis from the hand or Metalfoes from the hand, which is huge. But the biggest thing about the Goukis is that they're all Earth, so you can make Mrs. Radiant, which is massive. It's a 2-card Mrs. Radiant with 2 Goukis, or if you have 2 in the graveyard, which you're pretty much always going to have turn 1, the end of your turn, you can basically use your Gouki rematch to special out 2 Goukis in defense, send them both to the graveyard for Mrs. Radiant, and then they'll both get their effects, search out another Gouki rematch and another Gouki, and then you have a link monster on the board with 2 scales attached to it, or two arrows, pardon me. So you can special summon 2 monsters from the extra deck, which is massive. Like, it's so good. And then, of course, since they're all Earths, Mrs. Radiant can add one of them back if it's destroyed, which is, yeah, obviously super powerful. So yeah, that's really, really good. But yeah, this card's the best one, I think, just because basically what you can do is you can swing with it and then swing with another Gouki and then tribute this to make that other Gouki attack and gain this one's attack. The other cool thing about it is it can tribute other monsters. One Gouki monster gains, you can only use each. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what's so good about it is that the fact that you can basically just like OTK with this card, and yeah, I think you have to play triple Twist Cobra. It's definitely the best one. I mean, if you're playing the Gouki engine, you're pretty much going to be maxing out on most of them. Triple Suprex, he's definitely a 3 of as well. He's the best one because you can special him. So like the ideal play, I'll show you guys a combo at the end. That's really good just to kind of get your link plays going at the start. You can special him off of Invoker, which is really powerful and it's important. And some people are like, oh, that's cool because you can blow him up at the end phase and get his effect. But like, that's not what you do. Like, I'll show you guys at the end why you have to play the Gouki engine in here as well. I'm just playing 2 Rescorpio. I've seen a lot of people playing 3. I don't want to max out on the Goukis. Like, I don't want to open a handful of Goukis. You don't really have any good like plays off that. I want to open like 1 or 2 Goukis, 1 preferably, and like 2 Metalfoes. That's like the best opening hand you can get. It's just super good. But yeah, he's the worst one. You can normal summon him if you control no monsters or if you control Gouki. Now, I've heard some people say they never use that effect. I've actually used it quite a bit. You can rematch and then like normal this guy and then make your Gouki link monster, and then you can do a massive pendulum play for 3 because right now the Gouki, the Great Ogre, is actually the only link monster we have that has 3 arrows pointing down in the game. He's the only monster we have that has 3 arrows pointing down. So that's really, really good. Yeah, I mean, like in this deck, if you can pendulum out three flipping Metalfoes monsters and then start doing crazy plays, like it's just massive. So yeah, just 2 Ham, 3 Clogs, so just 8 Goukis altogether. For other monsters, I'm playing triple Baobaboom. This is also important for the target or for the combo. This guy just makes Invoker. He also can make you Phantom Knight of Breaksword, which is really good in here as well. But yeah, this card is just, I think, so important in this deck because it fixes bad hands. And 1 Baobaboom plus a Metalfoe is the combo. So yeah, really, really good. And then the last monster I'm playing is Rescue Rabbit. Just because if you open Rescue Rabbit, it's basically like you can do some pretty crazy combos with this card. I feel like this card's a staple in this deck. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't play Rescue Rabbit. Yeah, so I'm not playing Maxi, so Brendan and I actually decided, because we're expecting it to get banned, and we're just tired of it right now. Like, at 1, it's just such a sat card that it's not fun. It's kind of like the new Vanity's Emptiness, and we kind of just play for fun. If we went to a tournament, we would put Maxi in, but we just decided to take it out because, like, as far as, like, having fun goes, Maxi is not a fun card. Like, it's like, if you go first, set up a huge board, and you have Maxi in your opening hand, your opponent tries to counter it, and you Maxi, they just lose. And that's just not fun. Like, it's just not cool. It's like Vanity's all over again, so... yeah, I'm predicting that Maxi gets banned. Calling it right now. So we got triple Gouki rematch. I've seen some people playing just 2 of this because they're like, oh, it clogs your opening hand. You are wrong. You have to play 3 of this card. I go through all 3 in one game so often. This card is insane. It's a 1 card flipping. Like, this card is like a freaking +2. Like, it's insane. It's searchable off any of the Goukis, and it helps you with like making a defensive board turn 1, which is really good because this deck does have an issue of making like a powerful first turn board, whereas pure Metalfoes with Gofu can make a better first turn board where they can have like Cyber Dragon Infinity with a Decode Talker. But this deck grinds way better than pure Metalfoes. So this card just helps you make your Link monsters more consistently. It helps you keep gaining advantage, and it helps you wall up turn 1 so you don't get OTK'd, which obviously isn't always a huge issue, but I mean, like, I feel like, you know, there are OTK decks still in the game. So I was just playing 2 Painful Decision, but I decided to play the 3rd. This is because, like, now some people are going to be like, this is too much because it's only once per turn, but I kind of have the same logic with this card as I do with Duelist Alliance and Pendulum Magician. Like, that card's a once per turn as well, but, like, you want to open Painful Decision. Like, this card is so good in here. It helps set up your Mithrillium by sending the other Metalfoe monster to the graveyard. And yeah, it's just so good. Like this card is basically like, if I open this with a Gouki, I know I have a good turn. Like, I can basically do what I need to do and get my plays going. So I feel like this just adds more consistency. It fills the spot of playing more Metalfoes and just adding, you know, it's basically Foolish Burial as well. So I like 3. I want to open 1. Like, yeah, if you open 2, that sucks, but this deck has so many, like, +2 combos off of 2 cards, which is, like, you don't really go minus. So having this next turn to search whatever scale you need if your scales get popped, I think is very, very crucial. So, yeah, I like 3 Painful Decision. I may take 1 out for a second combination, but yeah, still testing. 1 Rhoda because it searches out basically Twist Cobra or Suprex, so that's really important. Just add a little consistency. And then for the Metalfoes spells, just 1 fusion, 1 full Metalfoes fusion. I've seen some people not playing this and playing like more fusion. That's wrong. This card's so good. The fact that you can basically make whatever Metalfoe you need during your opponent's turn, but the biggest one you can make, of course, is Alcahest and then steal their monster. Like, it's super good. Brennan and I were playing a mirror match last night. He was playing pure Metalfoes, and he made this like massive board with like a freaking what did he have? He had like Mithrillium, Orichalc, a Volflame, and something else. I can't remember what it was. And he goes to attack, and I just like activated this, sent the Metalfoe I had on the field and 1 from my hand to make the Alcahest, and then I just stole his freaking what's he called? Orichalc, sorry. I'm still trying to learn the names a little bit. And then just for traps, I'm just playing 2 counters. So the funny thing about this is, like, I originally, when I saw like how the deck was going to get, or how Lynx was going to affect the deck, I was like, oh, you have to play 3 of this card. And I've seen some other builds, like I saw Anthony Ellenberg or whatever on Card Guys. He was playing 3 of this. I don't think you need 3. I think 2's perfect. And here's my reasoning. 1, you can send it back to the deck, so you always have another one off of off of the oh my gosh, I'm still trying to learn these freaking names. The Mithrilium. And you're not always going to be banishing this to add stuff back. Like, if you're in the position where you have to banish this to add back a Metalfoes monster, you're probably in a rough spot, or you're going for game. So, I mean, like, I feel like you don't need 3. I do not want to open up with any of the Metalfoes spells or traps, but this is probably the best one for recurrence, just because it can special out your level 1, the Bismugear, and then that gets popped in the end phase. You can search any scale you'll need for next turn. So that's really good. I mean, if they don't kill it, you're just getting a plus off of it with a scale next turn. So, excuse me. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, I feel like 3's too many clogs because you're going to open up with it. And I don't want to open it, but I do want to play more than 1 because you can banish it to add a monster back to your hand, which can extend your pendulum play. So, yeah, I think 2 is the perfect number. And then for the last card, I'm playing 1 Metalfoes combination. I'm really contemplating putting this up to 2. So I don't like opening this card either. That's kind of the logic behind it, is I don't want to draw the Metalfoes spells or traps. Excuse me. But the thing is like I do love this card's first effect. Like, the second effect's great that you could pop it and get a search. Like, that's really good. But what makes this card so good is now, because of the whole link mechanic, like, basically what you can do, I mean, everybody already knows this, but because, like, if you make a Mithrilium, you don't have a link monster out, this goes into your extra monster zone. You'll have this on the board, and then if you have another fusion play, you can use the Mithrilium to make Orichalc. Mithrilium goes to the graveyard, and then this will activate, Mithrilium will activate. So this will be special back off of the combination, which is so good, like, because it comes, anything, as we know from Link rules, anything that goes to the extra monster zone and then goes to the graveyard and comes back will go to the main monster zone. So you end up getting, like, 2 really good monsters off this, and then this effect will still activate in the graveyard, so you can end up specialing, 1 from your extra deck. If you had a Link monster, of course, you can't do that because he's in the extra monster zone, but you can special someone back from the graveyard. That's another reason why I think Painful Decision is so important. So that's so good, like just being able to, like, summon out both these in 1 turn. Like, Brendan and I both did it, like, twice last night because of combination. We were both talking about it, like this card is so important. I still think you only need 1, but, like, I just worry about this card getting banished by, like, Cosmic Cyclone or something. So I feel like 2 may be the right number going forward, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so that's the main deck, guys. 40 cards. We'll just quickly rip through the extra deck here. And I'll show you guys the combo. What are we at for time here? Geez, 17 minutes. So yeah, we got 2 Orichalc. 1's not enough. You need 2. 3's too many. Perfect number. And then we have the 1, 2, 3 Mithrilium. She's the best card in the extra deck. Bounces stuff, including your own cards, back to your hand, which is really good. And so you can bounce your scales back, activate them, and play them again. But yeah, just she's so good. She's like kind of your spot removal, and she's a floater. So yeah, super important. 1 Adamante. Not really. I don't, like, ever really make this, but I mean, the thing is you can make this with, like, a Metalfoes and a Gouki monster if you need to, so it's not bad. It's still 2,500 beater, so yeah, you do have to play that. And then arguably my favorite one, I sometimes want to play 2 of them, but I feel like 1's enough, is Alcahest. He's so good. You special him on defense, and then any effect monster your opponent summons, you can just take it, and he gains a defense equal to its attack, and you can have multiple cards equipped to him. The only issue now, of course, is because we have the pendulum scales being taken up by spell and trap zones, or taking up the spell and trap zones, we can't equip as many cards with this guy, so you kind of got to be careful about that, but I think he's still amazing. Like, I've been thinking about playing 2 of them now, but I think 1's still, like, the right number. You can put him back to the extra deck with Mithrilium, so. XYZs, I'm playing 1 Castel. You can play Dweller as well. I was thinking about just playing Dweller, but this is kind of just, like, if you need to make a rank 4, this guy's more spot removal. So, get rid of, like, that stupid trap card that I always forget the name that stops you from pendulum summoning or whatever else. And then for the rank 3s, we have Phantom Knight, Breaksword, and Invoker. These are the only ones you need. He's basically really good because you can like pop your combination that's set and get a search. You can pop one of your Goukis and one of their cards and get a search. Like, he's just super good. And Invoker is here for the combo, which I'll show you guys coming up here. And then for the 1 Synchro, just Ignister, because you can make him off of Luster, and he's clutch. For the Link monsters, 1 Decode Talker, just one. Just 1 Gouki the Great Ogre. I've never had a situation come up where you can make more of these. You pretty much just make the one because it takes 3 monsters, and then yeah, it's just, you know, he's just there just in case. But the main one you're gonna be making the most is Mrs. Radiant. I should be playing a second one. I do have another one coming in the mail, but yeah, you play 2 of this because of the combo. So that's the main deck, guys. Let me just show you the combo really quick here. I'm just trying to race here. I know this is a long deck profile, but hopefully you guys watch the whole thing. So all you need is a Metalfoes and a Baboon. Now, of course, this is just 2 cards in your hand, so whatever else you have, you can keep doing combos. So what you end up doing is you go Baboon, play the scale, use it to pop Baboon. He goes to the graveyard. His effect activates. Of course, you're going to do the draw effect too to fix your hand if it's bad. Get 2 Baboons. Both their effects can activate if you want them to, and then you can keep fixing your hand, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to overlay these for the Invoker. Let's go to the extra monster zone, of course. So we'll say this up here is the extra monster, and this is the monster zone. So this is going to activate its effect. You're going to detach the Baboon. And because you are playing Warriors in the deck, and you are playing level 4, you're going to special summon Suprex from the deck. Now, what's cool is Invoker, of course, is an Earth. Suprex is an Earth, so now we can put them both to the graveyard and link summon Mrs. Radiant. So right away, you're getting yourself a link monster off of 1 card, which is really good. And the other nasty thing is he just has to be sent to the graveyard, so this is going to activate. And you can search out another Gouki, you can search out another rematch if you drew another Gouki in your hand, etc., etc. And then, I mean, like, worst case scenario if you want is you can always, like, pendulum out the other, like, Gouki you search out and then link these 2 together to make a decode talker. And then this will get its other effect. You can search out rematch and play rematch, special summon these both back from the graveyard, and then you end your field with, like, a decode talker with 2 negates on it. And which will get your decode talker its negate effect. So, I mean, that's just off of 2 cards, so that's, like, super, super powerful. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I haven't made a video in so long. I do have a bunch of deck profiles for link format that I want to keep doing. I have Herald, Cosmos, Pendulum Magician, freaking so many, Monarchs. So yeah, if you guys want to see any of those, please comment below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.